Welcome to another self-service video brought to you by SAP Ariba. This video is going to discuss the SAP Ariba buying channels that we use within procurement. The buying channels within procurement in Ariba are basically the spend categories broken into what we call buying channels, or think of them as buckets of spend. Ariba has identified 7 major buying channels. The 7th channel that you don't see on the list is for direct procurement. So anything spent in supply chain, in direct procurement, manufacturing, in the ERP, and then sent to the suppliers. That's the 7th channel. So we're going to focus on the 6 channels that can be used within Ariba buying and invoicing solution. So looking at channel number 1, which is focused on catalog, so catalog being SIF or punch out, or whether it's a spot buy catalog, or a release contract where it generates a catalog subscription, putting all of these into one bucket of channel, of a buying channel, one bucket of spend. The second one is an invoice against the contract. So this could be like lawn maintenance, landscaping, windows cleaning. Those invoices will be directly against the contract. There is no order in place. The third one is where we do like an end bid and a buy policy, things that require quick sourcing or tactical collaborative requisitioning and so on. That's channel number 3. Channel number 4 is for service type related ordering, where this could have a service entry sheet against it. And service entry sheet is being in lieu of receiving, where material orders will have receiving, service entry sheet will be instead of this receiving on a service PO. 5th channel is a non-catalog requisition. So this is an ad hoc procurement. And then the 6th one is there is no contract in place, there is no PO in place, so it's a true non-PO, non-contract invoice, like an electric bill or something like that, where there's no agreement, there's no PO, and then you just basically get the invoice. That would be a true non-PO. So now with the 6 channels identified, you can take your spend over the last year or 2 years, break it up into these different buckets of spend, into these different buying channels, and then design the process end to end. When I say end-to-end, I mean including sourcing and how that would lead to a contract, how would that lead to a catalog or a release contract in place, and so on. How you would do the receiving, how you do the approval process, the document flow, how you would receive the invoice and process the invoice against it, pay it, get discount on the payment, true end-to-end. By designing a process, document flow, approval, and so on end-to-end, it puts you in a proactive form. So you're no longer just fighting fires and being reactive. You've basically now have all your spend managed and broken up by these different buying channels. And any new type of spend or any new supplier relationship that's being developed would fit into one of these buying channels and inherently would have all the design that you have and everything that you built on that design would take over and become part of managing that supplier or managing that spend. The only one that I think maybe requires a little bit more explanation, maybe release contract versus non-release contract. So that's where you have an agreement in place. You can create a compliance document in Ariba. That compliance document can be of flavor release or non-release. Release means that you're going to be creating POs to release the amounts. So the spend is not directly against the contract. You're going to have a PO, and then the spend will be against that PO itself. The PO will be against the contract. Versus the non-release, which is channel 2, there is no PO, so there are no releases. It's a non-release, so therefore the invoice will be directly against the contract. These are the Ariba buying channels. Take advantage of them. If this is a new deployment, deploy with this in mind right from the beginning, including requirement gathering and build. If you're an existing customer already live, you can any new spend, you can put it into this kind of process and start making this as part of your platform, part of your process moving forward. So you don't have to go and retroactive and retrofit everything. You can build it as part of the process moving forward. Thank you.